welcome to my midterm update. It's another chaotic start, as usual.
Mommy, you don't too fast.
I'm going too fast, I'm sorry. As you can hear, another chaotic start. But I'll update as I go along on this midterm update. So I'm currently just living the mom life with a ornery 3-year-old who wants to get out of the car herself and is also just not getting out of the car. So I thought I'd take a moment to introduce myself. If we haven't met yet, my name's Tiffany. I'm a mental health counseling grad student, as well as a child life specialist, an intuitive eating counselor, and a doula and a childbirth educator. And so I've done a lot of grad school vlogs so far, and then I'm trying to make content for those other passions as well. But I'm glad you're here. Thanks for following along. I'm going to see if I can get this sweet 3-year-old a move in here. All right, chat time. I just dropped my kiddos all off at school. It's probably like 7:45, probably almost 8 at this point. It was a pretty smooth morning. The older kids especially have gotten really great at like just being down with the routine, but as you saw, my 3-year-old was like not having it. Tuesday is the first day of the week for her at school. She goes to school Tuesday through Friday for a full day. And that's always, I think, just that Tuesday transition after she's been out of school for a few days is always kind of taking a while to get out of the car, finding a million things to do, wants like a bajillion hugs before I leave. So no tears, but definitely some procrastination techniques going on, but we're there. Yeah, what else is going on? So today I have my human growth and development class at noon. And before that, I'm going to be working on a paper. Our big assignment for that class for the midterm is to interview a child or adolescent and kind of apply developmental principles to that interview. And so it's a pretty big paper. It's like 12 to 15 pages. But my interview went great. I interviewed a teen. It was really fun. And I'm feeling really good about that interview, and I think the paper should be, fairly easy to get by. I did get some bummer news. I interviewed a couple that was looking for a doula, and unfortunately I felt really connected to them, and unfortunately they went with a different doula, which is okay. I want them to have the support that they need, and they were really sweet in the email and said they would recommend me to anyone, and that I think it was just a matter of kind of they met several great people who they really liked and kind of went with somebody else. But this is the second time that's happened recently, which is a little unusual. Usually by the time they get to the interview with me, I feel like a lot of times I get hired. So I've been kind of turned down twice lately, which is always a bummer. But I am really I just want people to have the support they need. So I got that news a few minutes ago, which is a bummer. But other than that, I'm just going to be heading into this midterm week working on grad school assignments. So I will take you along with me. I'll kind of fill you in as we go. So I am quite successfully procrastinating getting started on my paper, because on my way home from dropping the kids off, I stopped at CVS because I had prescriptions, but they don't open until 9, at least the pharmacy part, and it was before 9. And so instead, I wanted to see if I remembered correctly that they had these Scrunchy brand visors. I had one years ago and I can't find it, and I wanted another one. And I got 2 of them, and I did remember correctly that CVS had them. And I wanted them for our trip in June, because I have been enjoying putting my somewhat short hair into these little itty bitty braids. I know this one is kind of funky. I did this like without looking in a mirror, and I can't get this one to stay tucked. But anyway, I thought that having a visor would be perfect because I still want to be able to wear a hat and do some like cute beachy braids on our Disney cruise in June. And so I stopped at CVS and found those, and also picked up some dry shampoo that was on sale, and also picked up some chocolate because yay, chocolate. So I really do need to get started on this paper. I'm going to stop procrastinating and do that now. It's like it knows me. Don't stop until you're proud. Okay, fine, Dove Chocolate. I won't take a break right now. Alright, update time. So, I started this paper and I am only at about 4 pages of the 12 that it needs to be. However, right now I basically just took all the information from the interview and kind of put it in there, and I need to actually apply it. So I think once I apply it, I'll probably get pretty to the page amount, the page requirement pretty easily. So I think what I'm going to do now is I'm going to stop writing and actually finish my asynchronous work and like the reading that I have for this class. Normally, I don't like to read ahead because then I get confused if I like read ahead for the next week. I get confused when I'm actually in the live session when we're discussing everything we read the previous week. However, next week's topic is adolescent development, and since that's what this paper is, I think it will really help me. And I already actually watched all the asynchronous lectures, so I just have some reading to finish up, and I think that's going to give me some sources for this paper as well as some good like development stuff to actually apply it. So that's probably the best use of my time, and then I can come back and add all that in there. This paper isn't due, it's due a week from Friday, and it's Tuesday, so I still have some time. I'm at a really good pace. Happy Wednesday. I don't think I updated very much yesterday. I worked on my paper, and then I had my live session for human growth and development at noon. And then from there, it was just picking up the kids and doing the normal evening stuff. So there just wasn't too much to report on. And just dropped all the kids off again now. And for some reason, my 3-year-old had another really hard drop off. She woke up in a great mood. She was really happy. But then on the way to school, she was crying that she wanted to stay home with mommy today. So we got her into school and she cheered up a little bit, and then as I was doing like the goodbye routine, she was getting a little upset again, so that's no fun. But today I have a presentation in my 10 o'clock class, so I think I'm just gonna go home at 7:45 right now. I think I'm gonna go home and get a shower and just kind of relax and go over the presentation. I'm not going to worry about doing too much other like schoolwork before that presentation, which I didn't think I was nervous about, but I did have dreams about. Like this morning, like as I was waking up, I feel like I was dreaming bizarre stuff about it. So I don't know what that means, but that's the plan. So just a mid-afternoon check-in. I had fully intended to like show maybe just a little snippet of the presentation that I did today, but I forgot to record that. But basically, the presentation I did today was a group presentation of the dynamic maturational model of attachment for my psychodynamic class. And so it was kind of a different model of attachment than what I've been familiar with. I learned a lot. Working with the group was great. I feel good about the presentation. Everything went really well with that. So I'm glad to have that. First, like, major assignment of the whole quarter was really that one. So it's nice to have that one. And now I am just back to working on this paper for my human growth and development class that is proving to be a lot more challenging than I thought it was going to be. The interview went really well with the teen that I interviewed. I hit on all the pieces, but I am finding that this paper is not as long as I thought it was going to be. Usually I have to trim my papers back. Usually I go over the amount they want. Right now, I am only at like 5 completed pages, and it has to be 12 to 15. And the section that I've already written, the syllabus says might be like 9 to 10 pages, and then the rest of it is really short. So that's not great, because I've gone over it a couple times, and I feel like I'm not exactly sure what else to say, especially because I thought the next part was where we apply more of it. So I'm going to just start on the next part. Maybe I'll have more in that section and then can go back and fill it in. But I'm definitely a little more stressed over this paper than I thought I was going to be going into it. So I'm going to work on that some more. I'm also going to order food for dinner tonight to have with some friends. My friend is picking up my kiddos from school, and then we'll go over there for an early dinner before my son's school music class concert this evening. So that's what's on the docket for now. Well, I apologize in advance for what is probably going to be very poor audio quality, probably poor video quality, if I'm being honest. The good news is, happy Thursday. I am about to finish up about 1.5 miles, almost 2 mile walk, and it's like only a little after 8. So I've been meaning to get this kind of exercise for a while, but it never seems to happen. So that's the good news. The bad news is the thing that necessitated the walk was I left my keys in my husband's car, and he drove off without them. So in a mad scramble, I had to walk all 4 kids to school. I've still got the stroller with my littlest. And very gratefully, my mother-in-law is going to pick up my keys from my husband's car at work and drive them to me. Then I can get her off to preschool. But that's where we're at on this Thursday. Well, I finally made it to drop off my youngest at preschool. About 2 hours after the program started, it was almost 10:30 when I dropped her off. And I usually drop her off close to 7:30, 7:45. So definitely a slow start and a delay, but I was glad I was able to get her there. And now I think I'm going to do some of my asynchronous work for the rest of the afternoon. It's already like 11:30, and I have not started any schoolwork yet. So I think I'm going to work on some of the asynchronous work. I was debating doing that paper that I was having trouble with and lamenting about earlier, but I think that just reading and doing asynchronous work sounds a little more relaxing to me right now. So that's the update for now. Y'all, it is Friday. I don't know how much, I don't remember how much I put on here yesterday. Oh, my keys. The key debacle happened yesterday. So, I got my 3-year-old to school like 3 hours later than normal. But other than that, it was a normal day. I was just working on that paper that I was having a lot of trouble with earlier in the week when I get a call from preschool that she has put something in her nose and they can't get it out. And yeah, so now I'm on my way to pick her up to take her to the pediatrician and figure that out. So another fun parenting while in grad school stuff going on here. Well, hello. I don't think I updated it all yesterday after the pony bead incident. Oh, it was a pony bead up my kiddo's nose. I don't know if I said what it was. I don't think we knew. I don't think I knew at that time. So I called the doctor. They got me in like a half hour after I called, and she was actually back at school by lunchtime. So that was really great. But I still am really behind on school this week. So it's Saturday. It's already like 2:37. And I am still finishing up async work from one class. Haven't even started the other class and still need to work on that paper. I am never this behind, and rarely do I have to work on the weekend. Usually when I'm doing schoolwork on the weekend, it's because I want to get ahead, but I am really feeling stuck this week, and I feel like more overwhelmed than normal. Although I feel like all my videos say that, so maybe it actually really is normal for me to be overwhelmed, but that's where we're at. So it is 2 a.m. on what I guess is now technically Sunday, but the good news is I am on my paper that I've really been struggling with all week to get the length is on page 13 now, but there is a cover page which doesn't count, which means I have like half of page 12 done. And that for me is close enough, even if, any points were taken off for that. I don't think it would be a lot, and I am okay with that. But before I was like, I only had half of what I needed, and I was very worried for a while because I did not know if it would come together because getting this length was hard. I think I've learned that 10 pages is kind of my sweet spot for papers, that 10 to 12, and that 12 to 15 is apparently a much harder paper for me to write. So that was a good thing to learn, but I'm glad that I've got a good draft. I do have to go back and still do citations. I'm still not done with it. It's definitely been much harder than I anticipated. But yay for some success. I needed that break. Well, hello. Happy Monday. I have not been the best vlogger this week. I feel like it's been a lot of me just inserting random updates here and not doing a lot of B-roll and whatnot. But that's kind of how it is. I have included more time. Usually I only vlog like Tuesday through Friday for my updates, but here we are on Monday, and it's just taken me this long to kind of get to where I normally would have wanted to be as of Friday. But I think you saw my update on Saturday. I stayed up till 2 a.m. And got my paper to a much better place. It's at 12 pages. I think the big thing is part one was supposed to be longer than part two in the syllabus, like suggested but not required. And really, my part one and part two are a little more equal. So I got that done. I got the citations in, and I really just need to give it one more proofread. And it will be good to go to turn in. It's not due till Friday, so I'm still doing really well with that. And I had a meeting with a classmate for my next paper, which is due a week from tomorrow, and it's a group paper. And I think it'll come together just fine, but I'm used to working on papers 2-3 weeks ahead. But both of us were working on this monster paper, and I think we were both kind of like, let's get through this paper first before we start on this next one. So that's kind of what's up next, and I think the rest of the term is really going to fly by. I've got a lot more papers and presentations due between like now and week 9 out of 10. So I think up until week 9 is going to be a little wild, and then probably the last week or two of the quarter I'll be kind of done with everything. That's how it's looking. So I'll update then as always. I'm really hoping to get more of like the educational sit down content out there, but I am finding that is the hardest for me to create because it really does require sitting down for an extended length of time versus these where I can kind of pick up and update as I go along. So those are the things I'm working on. Thanks for being here. Thanks for sticking around, and we'll see you next time.